a geometry class only because you requested that I go over a few of the problems, and we didn't have time to completely go over them all, though we probably should have. We didn't. You ready? Ready? Yeah, this is on your tests. I'm only going to go over a few, okay? So I'm going to go over 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 13, and I will email you all the answers as well when I still don't have them yet, believe it or not. But I will email you answers, okay? All of them. So hopefully the ones that I'm not covering here, you guys kind of know. It's just a matter of me checking your answers. All right, so we're going to get started here. First one. Oh, I need to have the test in front of me, don't I? I didn't copy down the question. This is number 4. It's asking to find the surface area of the triangular prism. Find the surface area. So remember, surface area is not volume, meaning volume is the inside. We want the outside. Okay, so to find the surface area of a triangular prism, surface area, on your paper it says you need 2 of the bases plus the perimeter times the height. So the bases, well, we got 2 of them here. There's your triangle here. That's one base. That's another base. Okay. When it says B, you want the area of it, obviously, not just a base like one of the numbers. You want the actual area. So if you have, let me just draw one of these. If this is 12 and this is 11, and I know this is the height right here, and this is the base, right, because of the right angle. So I got 11 and 12, and you don't really need this one right here for now. You don't need 16.3 right now. You will need it, though, in a second, okay? So we have 11 times 12. So how do you find the area of a triangle? Well, area is 1/2 base times height, and you should know that. So 11 times 12, what is that going to be? 11 times 12, we're at 132. And then what's half of 132? So I have 1/2 times 132. Area is that, and then 1/2 of that is going to be 66. Now remember, I'm going to give you guys the use of calculators just so you can calculate stuff a little bit faster. Okay, so we know that one of the bases, 2 times the base, 1 base is 66, plus, now they want you to know what is the perimeter. Well, remember the perimeter, you want to know what the perimeter is of this whole triangle, because when you unwrap this, when you unwrap this paper, like that, when you're going to unwrap it, you're going to get 3 sections like that, right, that unfold, and this is the stuff that's around the triangle. So when you unwrap the paper all the way, I think of it like paper. Basically, each of these sides of the triangle, there's one side, belongs to, let me erase this. Each side here basically belongs to one side of this triangle here, just as you start unfolding it, and so forth, okay? So that's why you need the perimeter. And so perimeter here is going to be 16.3 plus 12 plus 11, and you should have a perimeter of 39.3. So that's what your P is, 39.3. I'm going to put in parentheses, times how tall this thing is. Well, how tall this thing is going to be right here, this length, which happens to be this length, okay? And what does the problem tell you that the length is? It's right here, look. I'm covering it, 29. Okay, so your height is 29 centimeters. So there's 29 centimeters. I really don't need the centimeters up there, but. Okay, so now just calculate it. 2 times 66, we should have 132, plus, you're going to do 39.3 times your 29, and that should give you 113 I'm sorry, not 113. I apologize. Should be 1139.7. So you're going to add that to your 132. And so you should get a grand total of 1,271.7. This should be centimeters squared, okay? So 1271.7. That's going to be the letter C. Number 4, it's the letter C. Okay? There's one. Hopefully you kind of understood that. The only other way I can show you is if I show you an actual three-dimensional, those yellow block, the yellow triangle shapes, and do it with that. Okay, let me check real quick. This is number 6. Number 6 is asking you to find the surface area of the cylinder to the nearest square unit, and they want you to use 3.14. So find the surface area of this thing. Okay, so if you look at your little formula, surface area of a right cylinder, it's the same thing. Surface area again means the outside, right? So surface area is 2 of the bases. It's going to be 2 of the circles. Plus, now remember in a circle, we don't say this is called a perimeter. Instead of saying if this is a perimeter from start to finish, we say that's a circumference. So you're going to do the circumference times however tall this thing is, however high it is. Okay? So the base is one of these circles. Actually 2 of them, right? But we're just going to find one of them. So that's area equals, you need to know this one, right? Pi r squared. And so 8 times 8 is 64, so you should have 64 pi. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 times 64 pi. I'm going to wait till the very end to multiply everything, okay, with the 3.14. I'm going to wait till the very end. Well, not the very end, but I'm going to wait till I start multiplying those. Okay, so now I know, let's see, what's circumference? Do you remember the formula for circumference? Circumference is either going to be the diameter times pi, or you can think of it like 2 of the r's, right? 2 of the r's times pi. So whichever one you think. So basically you're doubling the 8. If you double the 8, you get 16. So you know you're going to have 16 pi for the circumference. So for the circumference, you're 16 pi times how tall this thing is. And how tall this is, I don't even have a handout, you know. It's pretty funny that I don't actually have a handout. I usually have hands out now that I kind of caught on to this. I'm surprised I don't. Hold up, let me grab a hand. Hey, give me a hand, please. And letter D. D is the most reliant letter, isn't it? Okay, so let me erase that. Let me move my little, oh, what's that? What's that about? Get out of here. All right, so again, our height is right here. They give it to us, 11.1. I'm just going to stick that right in here and then start calculating some of these things, okay? 11.1. So again, with your use of your calculator, or if you have your phone with you, you can do it on your phone. You can do 64 times 3.14 first. That's going to be 200.96 times 2. So let me do that times 2. So you should have 401.92 plus, okay, let me figure this out now. 16 times 3.14, because they want you to use 3.14. That's 50.24 times 11.1 times 11.1. I'm not doing this in my head. I hope you know that. 557.664. I should have rounded that. I think the thing says to round to the nearest square unit. So I'll round it right now at the end. So that plus 401.92, 959.584. So they want you to round this. So rounding it, it's going to be about, what would you say, round up, right? Because it's 0.58, round it up. Round to the nearest whole unit, so that's 960. Okay? All right, moving on. Remember, pause it if you need it, if you need the video. Oh, I don't need where's my hand at? Oh. Let me bust out my hand, guys. Copy. Paste. All right. Okay, so this one we need to find, what's it saying? Pyramid shown has a rectangular base and faces that are isosceles triangles. Find the total surface area to the nearest tenth. Okay, so here's one way I'm going to do this, because I think this might help you guys. Some of you see this problem a little bit differently, okay? Now, the reason that you can't just do, I saw some of you just trying to say, oh, I'm going to just do the perimeter, and you got 20, and then you multiply it that times the 7 and times a half, and that didn't really work. Okay, it doesn't work. Here's why. Because you don't have a square base, so you can't really do that. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to imagine cutting all these triangles out and putting them back to back to back to back, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do, let's see, one of them is 2 and one of them is 8. So let me make it pretty obvious which one's which, okay? I'm going to make this one right here, the smaller one will be the 2's. So this one right here will be this one right here. And then the other one I'm going to make, I'm just going to do back and forth, back and forth. And the other one's going to be a little bit bigger because this one's 8. So that one's 8. That one's 2. And then what will be the next one? I'm trying to do it a different way so you can see this a little bit better, okay? That's a 2. And then I'm going to do the next one. Hopefully this helps you, because I think the way I was doing it in class, it was confusing a lot of you. So look, all I did was do 2, 8, 2, 8, because basically all I'm doing is I'm unfolding all the triangles around here and putting them like this. Because then if I fold them back in place, it'll form a rectangle at the bottom, okay? So I got 2, 8, 2, 8. Does that make sense? 2, 8, 2, 8. Even though this doesn't look like a 2, remember, don't judge a picture by how it looks. Go by what the numbers they give you, okay? Now the next thing they do is they say these are isosceles triangles, and that means then that each one of these, 7, 7, are 7 7s. Okay? Now, the height, the slant height. So you need to figure out now what the slant height of this is. I need to know what this is right there. And I need to know what this is right there. And I'm only gonna find the slant height for these two, okay? Because there's no point for you to do the slant height for the other two. They're the same ones. So let's figure out what these are. So really, this one is more like, let me just kind of tell you which one I'm going to focus on. I'm just going to focus on this part right here. And if I chop that in half, that's going to be 1, and that's going to be 7. So I need to do Pythagorean theorem. Let's see, that's going to be 1 plus b squared equals 7 squared is 49. Oh, 49. Minus 1, b squared equals 48. Okay, so square root of 48 ends up being 6.9. I'm going to use 6.9, okay? So 6.9 ends up being how tall this thing is. I'm going to write that down up here, actually. Let me see if I can erase some spots in here. So this thing is 6.9 tall. That's how tall this is. That means that this one over here, 6.9, is also 6.9. Okay, now let's find the other one. This one right here is going to be a 4 and a 7. So now let's figure out what this one is. Let's see, that's going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this is a, maybe that's c. So that's 16 plus b squared equals 7 times 7, 49. Okay, so I got 49 minus 16 is 33. What's the square root of 33? B equals, I'm doing it all in the calculator, guys, 5.7. Okay, so see why you can't just use the same height, slant height for all of them? Because these are actually going to be different. That's 5.7. Can't use that. See, I haven't used this color in a while. 5.7. So that means that this one's 5.7. Okay. All right, so now let me just clean up all this because it looks really messy. Hopefully you kind of wrote down some of that information. If not, pause it and get whatever you need. I'm just trying to clean this up. This looks really ugly and messy. All right, I know to find the area of one of these triangles is 1/2 base times height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one right here, okay? I'm going to do 1/2 the base, which is 2, times the height, which I'm going to use 6.9, okay? So I'm going to do 2 times, and I'm just going to do this in my calculator. 2 times 6.9 equals 13.8. Okay, and that's going to be 2 times 6.9 is 13.8 times a half, or divided in half, is 6.9. That's that one. Okay, so this one's 6.9. It just happens to be the same number as that one, so don't get confused, because this is the area, okay? Area is 6.9 for this one. So the area is also 6.9 for this one right here, right above me. So these two are 6.9, so let me just start writing these. 6.9 plus another 6.9 plus, now I need these two blue triangles. Okay, so let's find out the two blue triangles. Area equals 1/2, the base is 8, times how tall it is? 5.7. So 5.7 times 8 times a half, or divided by 2, however you want to think of it. That's going to be 22.8. Okay, so this one's 22.8. Let me write it twice. Plus another 22.8. Oh, hold on. This is a lot of work, isn't it? I'm thinking that what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to give you a pyramid that has a square base. Okay, if I give you a pyramid that has a square base, then you'll probably be able to do this a lot faster. Because this is taking forever, isn't it? Right, so I got the 4 triangles. That's all done, finally. So I got this one, that one, that one, that one. I got all 4. 2 that are 6.9 and 2 that are 22.8. And I only need to add one more side, this bottom part. 2 times 8, because that's the rectangle that's on the bottom, okay? 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, so let's add all these up. 6.9 plus 6.9 plus 22.8 plus 22.8 plus 16. I have a whopping 75.4 feet squared. Is that an answer on there? What did they write down? They wrote down 75.8. Ugh, how did they get that? So, yeah, I got B. I got B, guys. That's the closest one that I see on there. Okay, I'm going to make sure that these numbers actually match up. I will work them out. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to actually go through this test. So there's your answer for this one. Again, I think on the test what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each one of these bottom numbers like the same. Okay, so I'll make it like a nice perfect, so that they're all the same. So all you have to do is do the perimeter and then the slant height of one. Okay, so it's a lot. That should be a lot faster and a lot easier for you. This is ridiculous, isn't it? All right, next one. What's this one? This one is number 8. Number 8 says, find the surface area of the right cone shown. Okay, surface area. Now this number down here is kind of hard to read. This one was a 4. Okay, so they want the surface area of this. If you remember surface area of a cone, it's going to be, and the formula that's in the paper, guys, that I gave you with all the formulas, that one's right. They actually do show it right. It's just that in the way that I gave it to you in your book was a little different. Okay, that's what they gave you in your formula in the paper that I gave you. In the book, the book has you do. What was I going to say? The book has you. Oh, what did I give you in the book? I'm trying to think. Let me see what it did. I want to write it down so you can see why they're the same. They're the exact same thing. And I'm looking, and I see it now. Okay, in the book, I gave you this right here, watch. In the book, I gave you this formula. Okay, I give you pi RL. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm like coughing badly here. All right. In the book, I gave you this bottom one. I gave you this one in the book, but the paper that I gave you gives you this top one, which is the same thing. It really is the same thing, because watch. I'll show you why. Let me paste my hand. What is, how do you find circumference? Because this one's telling you do half times circumference times lateral height. What's the circumference? What's the formula for that? And hopefully you're thinking, oh, so that's 2 pi r. And you're right, this is 2 pi r. And so watch what happens. Let me rewrite that one down here. 1/2. And instead of putting the letter C, I'm going to put 2 pi r. So this times that times the L. And now watch what happens here. Instead of using the letter C again, for the formula, I'm using 2 pi r. So what do you think is going to happen with these 2's here? They're going to cancel. Look, cancel. And so what are you left with? Watch. Isn't that the formula I gave you originally? See how it's the same thing as as this right here? It's the same exact thing. Okay, so you can use the one that's in the paper that I gave you, or you can use the one that's in the book. It's the same exact thing. It's just shown a little bit differently, okay? I'll just use the one that's on that paper. It's the same thing again. So let's use the surface area is the outside. So let's do the outside. Surface area is the base. Base is pi r squared. Remember, that's the area of the circle. So that's going to be 16 pi plus, well, I'm going to use this, okay, 1/2. Circumference of this is 2 pi r. So that's going to be, 2 pi r is going to be double 4. That's going to be 8 pi times the lateral height? The lateral height is it lateral? Am I saying it wrong? Hold on, let me see. It's not lateral, right? I'm sorry, it's slant height. The slant height is this right here, the 7. Slant height. The slant height is 7. Okay. So this one should be pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is multiply now. 16 times 3.14. 16 times 3.14 is 50.24 plus, now let me do this whole part of my head. 8 times 3.14 is 25.12 times 7 divided by 2. Okay, I did all the steps in the calculator, okay? I'm sorry, I said it in my head. I did it in my head. Okay, that plus 50.24, you should have 138.16. There you go. 138.16. Oh, wait, did it tell you to keep it in pi? I think it did, huh? Gosh, darn it. Okay, see? Read the instructions. Hold on. I just read the instructions. I said to keep it in pi. So, let's do this. What's half of 8? You get 4. What's 4 times 7? You get 28. Okay, so now I'm at 28 pi plus 16 pi. What do you do now? What's 16 plus 28? 44 pi. Okay? Read instructions. I didn't read them. I was giving you decimals. You don't need decimals for this one. Keep it in pi. Next one. Let me see how many more I got. I only got 3 more. I'm almost done. Okay, number 10. This is number 10. Find the volume of the right triangular prism. They want volume. Volume, remember that cool, this is number, I'm sorry. Let me get, just so you can see it on the video. This is number 10. Find the volume. Volume is the inside, surface is the outside. Remember that video? Volume is the inside, surface is the outside. So we're going to use that. Let's see. This is going to be volume equals base times height. That's all it is. Now this picture right here, you can actually imagine drawing it differently. You could actually draw it like this. Watch. Imagine it's standing instead. I think that's what's confusing some of you, that you're looking at these shapes and you're not seeing how they can be looking, what they look like when they stand. Okay. So this is really what it is standing. So it's the same thing. This 10 is the height, and the base. You want to know what the base is right here, like one of these right here. Okay, just one, because for volume you only need one of the bases, and you times it by how tall it is. So if they tell you look at this triangle here. One of the bases is a 3. Height times the 7 is the base. So do the formula for that one. The area of that triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height, so that's 21 times a half, or divided by 2. And area equals 1/2 base times height. So the area of this one is 10.5. So that's all you need. Okay. Let me erase this thing here, okay? So you should have volume equals, one base is 10.5 times how tall it is. Well, it's 10. So you're at 105. That's the number, I'm sorry, that's letter C. Happy face. Good job. Next one. This is number 11. And 13 is coming up. Okay, number 11. Oh, what happened there? Why did it show that little dotted thing? All right, to the nearest cubic foot, the cylindrical natural gas storage tank shown below holds 2,261 cubic feet of gas. The figure may not be drawn to scale. Okay, so remember, it's telling you, don't worry about how it looks, worry about what it's saying. So this thing says it holds something. That when it says it holds something, it means that it's, let me take out a hand. I'm sorry. Okay, when it says that it holds something, that's volume. Okay, so the volume of this is 2,261 cubic feet of gas. So I'm just going to put 2261. Okay, so what's the volume? What's the formula for this? Here's what you want to start off with. What formula do we use for volume for this? Base times height. We just did one like this on the other one, kind of. Now the base of this, how do you find the area of a circle? So let's fill that in. Pi r squared times h, and that's v. Okay, so here's what we're going to do is we're going to actually fill in some of this information, because guess what they want you to find? They want you to find out what is the approximate volume of an equally tall tank if it has a diameter of 20.4. Okay, so they want you to find out what it would be like if it was even wider, if it was a bigger circle, okay? But in order to find out what the volume is, look, in order to know what volume is, and we just wrote down the formula. So in order to know that if the diameter, let me draw a picture over here. So what happens if the diameter is wider now if it's 24 instead of it being 12, well, what happens to the volume, and what happens if it's the same height as this one? But guess what? We don't know what the height is yet. Okay, so before we can do the next part of this, we actually have to find out what the height is here. And we can do that using this information up here. You already know what the volume is of this one up here, so I want you to take this 2261 and put it right here where the V is. And then, what else do they tell you here? They tell you that the diameter is 12, so what would the radius be here? I know you're saying 6, so let's plug in this information first, okay? I'm going to do it over here. Let me erase some of this 2261, so let me erase that. So I'm going to start plugging in information of what I know. I know the V is 2261, that's going to go on one side. Then I have pi on this side. And R, well, the radius is 6, because half of 12 is 6, so I'm going to do times 6 squared times h. Okay, now go ahead and work that out to find out what the h is. So what I'm going to do in my calculator, I'm going to get 36 times 3.14, and that's going to be 113.04h, and then 2261. And then what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 113.04, okay? So 2261 divided by 113.04, I'm going to get about, my calculator says 20.0017692.9. I'm just going to put 20, okay? That's a pretty close approximation. So let's use 20. So that means that now you know that this is 20. And it's telling you right here, look, What would it be if the volume is, if the diameter is doubled to 24? Okay, well now I know everything that I need to know to figure out what the volume would be. Because now I know what the h is. Because look, it says if it has the same diameter and the same height. Okay, so I'm going to figure out, I know what the h is. H is 20. I know what my radius is. It's 12. I know what pi is, and now I can figure out what the volume is. So V equals pi times 12 squared times 20. Okay, so we're going to do 144. That's 12 times 12 times 20 times 3.14. 9043.2 volume, and this is going to be in feet cubed. Okay, there's your answer. But it says 10 years cubic foot, so really it could be, take the 2 away. It's really 9043. And that is going to be, oh, that's weird how the book you got that. Well, yeah, it's still fine. It's going to be letter A. Letter A. A is the answer, okay? Hopefully that helped. Next one, last one. The last one says, calculate the volume of the cone. This one's kind of easy, guys. Come on now. Volume is, do you remember the formula? I don't know if you know it by heart already. The cone, it's 1/3 times the base times the height. You don't know what the height is. Look, that's the one thing you have missing. What can you use there to find the height? A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? So you're going to have 25 plus 36 equals C squared. What's 25 plus 36? 36 plus 25, and then you're going to do square root of 61. Okay, it's square root of 61. So C equals, I'm going to say it's about 7.8. So I want you to use this. Okay, so now what you're going to do is plug this stuff in. V equals 1/3 times, oh, what's the base? That's a circle, so you're going to use area of a circle. It's pi r squared, so I'm going to use pi. R is going to be a 5. 5 squared, pi r squared. And then the height. Oh, wait, why did I even find 7.8? Oh, my goodness, Mr. Pueblo. Mr. Pueblo's had a long day. Wow, I didn't even need the height. I didn't even need the 7.8. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, what I just showed you, you don't need. When would you need it, though? When would I need to know that this is 7.8? You would need to know that it's 7.8 if, what? If I asked you for the surface area, okay? So if I asked you for surface area, then you would need this. But because it's volume, what do you only need to know? Because it's volume, you don't need to know any of this. You don't even need to know surface area. You don't even know the slant height. You don't need any of this garbage right here I just wrote. The height is 6. That's it really, guys. Pretty simple. 25 times 3.14, I got 78.5. Times 6 times 1/3. So I'm just going to calculate this. Times 6, 471 times 1/3. So I'm going to divide it by 3, okay? Divide by 3. I get 157. That's my answer that I have. Is that an answer on there? Yep, it is letter C. So 13 is the letter C. 13 is the letter C. Okay. I don't know if you need number 14. Find the surface area of a sphere that has a diameter of 16. No, that's pretty simple. Surface area is 4 pi r squared, and you know that the diameter is 6, that's 8. So you're going to use the letter. Yeah, that's fine. You know that. All right, guys. That's it. If you need something else shown, please email me. Okay, send me a question. If you have questions, let me know. I don't mind doing like a video from home real quickly if you need like to show you how to do another problem that I didn't do today, okay? Or maybe I can just try and help you out by typing a response to you. But please, I'll gladly respond. I'll gladly do an email video for you if you need one. Just let me know, okay? Because I want you to feel really comfortable for your test on Monday, okay? So test is on Monday. It'll be, I'm going to see if I can cut it down to just 10 questions, okay? 10 questions. That's ugly, gosh. All right, guys. Peace out.